face. Very interesting. So there's better than anybody. Okay. Okay, so I'm the first. Okay. Oh my God, this is too strange here. It's so bright. So, okay, so here, it's my bad because I always late. So, okay. So guys, okay. Happy Friday. Okay. Waiting here. All right. Is it working? I don't know. It's usually there's something. Is there something not knowing? Say hello, okay? Can you hear me? Okay, so I'll do my little song anyway. Hello, everybody, welcome. Closest like investigator. Hello, everybody, welcome. Closest like investigator. Okay, so anyway, so I should have come back. You know, I know what I'm gonna do. I send energy. Send energy. Okay. It's complicated. It's always complicated. So just, you know what, the light is so bright. It doesn't have to be so bright. Better, okay? Send it to Bella, her solder. Oh, it's very hot, the hands, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Is everything okay? I don't know. Something happened. I don't know. Did people receive the? Sometimes they don't receive the notice. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but it's okay. We're here. Or is it? I don't know. Is it? Yeah, it's a little weird, right? I don't know, but it's okay. Hi Jojo. Hi Aisha. So is it? Yeah, I don't know what happened. Do you guys know? Sometimes it really there is some kind of something off, but I don't know. Hello, hola. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Okay. I'll continue. Okay. So, but you know, it's true. I'm always late. So then people don't come so early either. Okay. Cause they're like, well, what are we waiting for that? Yeah. But do you think it's not me? You know, sometimes really there is something off. Sometimes I don't know if, you know, we'll have to find out from people what's going on. Okay. And I haven't received any messages or anything saying, you know, like, where's the link? Sometimes people, they say, oh, the link doesn't work. Oh, that's right. They didn't get the notice. That's why, guys. Did you guys receive the notice? Maybe you didn't. That's the thing. That's what it is, huh? Maybe you didn't receive. Oh my God. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what time did. Okay, so this was like 5:53. I get it's on my phone here. Okay, so wow, how strange. No, that's strange. No, it is a little weird, right? But you know, guys, what I should do. This is what I should do. Okay, I should really. Maybe I should do this. I should automatically send out the thing in the morning, and then update with the news. You know what I mean? Just have the link ready, and then you know what I mean. Have it because the complicated thing is getting the news together. So like it doesn't make sense. So it's just like if I don't know, sometimes it's too much if I send too much. Or maybe I'll just do it, you know what I mean? Because it's great. I realize I do send it very close to the time. And if for whatever reason Patreon doesn't send out the notice, I don't know. right? Isn't that weird? It is weird, right? Weird. Okay. So should I wait? I don't know, guys. Should I wait? Or I don't know. It's okay. So you got the note. That's right. You got the notice. Yeah. Well, it's okay. Maybe other, maybe people, something happened. I don't know. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. So, so, um, so anyway, so I have candles here, but let's wait a little bit. And should I get started with the questions? Maybe, or personal questions? I don't know. It's a little weird, right? Okay, but it's okay. It's 7:30. So let's continue. Let's get this started. Okay. So I'm gonna do the protection right away. Okay. So I like to ask protection. Beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in, I fill my lungs. As I breathe in, I create a circle. I create a circle. Step into it. Step into it. Feel protected. Step into it. I feel connected. I like to ask that information. Come only from the higher sources. Let it create the good, And only the good, Good for the good people. Good for the good people. Okay. Oh, okay. So let's get started, guys. Okay. Let's get started. I know. Yeah, I don't know what's happened. Where the people are. It's okay. Some people said you didn't receive the notice, so like I don't know. Anyway, it's okay. It happens. It happens. So let's get started. So today, guys, today is 9/11, the day before 9/11, and I was talking to someone earlier today. My parents have an 20-year. My parents, stepdad, like my mom and stepdad, 20-year marriage and official, the married officially married 20 years ago, and so going to have a party all day tomorrow. It's also my mom's birthday, and two of their friends are also doing the birthday. It's a long, so I'll be working tomorrow. Working, okay. Breaking news. That breaking news. It's okay, but don't worry, guys. It's okay. It's okay. And sometimes it's good to not. You know what I mean? Like it's focused. It's less. Yeah. I don't know if you know anything. Let me know if there's any. Hello, Tess. Long time. So okay. But it's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's okay. So anyway, so tomorrow, like I was saying, tomorrow I'll be busy working, helping out my parents, their party, and their anniversary party, and what else? And that's it. Okay, that's it. Because anyway, I'm saying this because it's weird. It's gonna be in the rooftop of their building, and I remember on 9/11, I went to the rooftop. I was living in Queens, on the rooftop of my building to see the towers. The second tower. I saw the airplane hit the second tower when I went up there. So it's going to be interesting to be on the rooftop during the time of night, because I remember it so well. So anyway, but it's kind of good to have a something celebratory on 9/11, because it is obviously a very sad occasion, but it's also like with all these occasions, all the things that are happening, guys, in the world, and especially this time that we see the sad, not sad to say sad, the cunning of people trying to constantly beat the system, and the frustration that we have without no justice. But I think we have to get a life, guys. Really, at the same time, we have to find ways to have a good life no matter what, because the environment is so toxic. You know what I mean? And by environment, I mean the media environment, the social media environment, the news, whatever that is. I was talking to the person I was talking to today. She was also saying that she has not been watching news at all. And I have not been watching the news either. I read the news, but I don't watch the news, because I get so it's very I feel like, have you noticed, it's not like toting my own horn here, but I feel like a lot of the news that are interesting, they don't talk about it. They just have one topic and they continue to talk about it with there's no real research, or I don't know. It's not the news anymore, or whatever that is. Okay. So let's talk about talk about 9/11. And there's lots of surprisingly, Christine had said there's a lot of news. I feel like okay, today, relatively. It's been relatively not that many news, but there's some interesting topics today, okay? Okay, so let's start here. Okay, let's start here. So okay, guys, do you have if you have any questions about the 9/11 situation, or like, because I just feel like it's such a 20 years is a long time, okay? 20 years is a long time, but it's also like, sorry, the mess my house is. Sorry about it. Sorry, the protection. So for sales information. Oh, guys, I do this in by the way, my class is gonna go October, not now. I love, it's like almost one of my favorite exercises is to pick a date and to go forward and see. So let's I won't do it. I want to do it. So what about, I want to go to like September 11th. Let's say, no, September 10th. Okay, let's do September. Okay. Or should we do 11th? It's on September 11th. I guess that's what they're asking. So September 11th, 2041. Yeah, I hope I still alive, huh? I'm still alive. Oh yeah. 2041, September 11th of, okay. I want to do this. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. So September 11th of 2041. So I may keep my eyes closed for a while. Let's see. Okay, what questions do we have for then? Let's see how things will have changed. I feel like to ask the question of how things have changed, it's a little broad. Yeah, no, I think individuals asking, Rosie, can you connect with the other person who perished and see what message they have for us? Yeah, it's a good question. Thank you. Thank you, individual. Oh, okay, guys, I have a question actually connected to ISF. By the way, great to see you. I love ISF. I love everybody, but say it's, okay. Because sometimes I feel like I say, I hope I'm not rude, stuff. But anyway, so, okay, let me go back here. So, okay, this is the thing. So I was on Twitter, and then somebody said there's an article on Esquire about the falling man. There's a very famous image of the falling man, the guy who jumped, and I think it was about, I think I may have read it about trying to identify who that person was in the photo. And I believe they may have found or like figure out who it was. Nobody could, they wanted to know who was that person who many people jumped to their deaths. But the question I have, guys, how like in, I think pretty much every religion and they consider suicide to be somewhat not, this is quote unquote not honorable, or like I feel like it's a different process if you die but is it even suicide? I'm like, that's not suicide to me. Does it make sense, guys? Is it a weird question to ask? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, is that even suicide? I don't think is that like, it's almost like human, like if you stay behind, you get burned and you jump, you know what I mean? Like, what happened? What was that? Like, this is my question. How does the I guess spirits interpret the people that jumped on 9/11? Okay, because you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just kind of interested in this. Like, I know that, and the other, like I said, on the other side, the suicide, there's a different process. Okay, so it's not, I'm not, I don't want to make it's not about necessarily judgment of moral anything, but I just feel like, does it make sense? Like, I feel like there's always a sense that it's a person made the choice, but I feel like they were, is it, okay, sorry, am I going off here? It's such a weird question. But, okay, so, okay. So let me, oh my God, I already got the answer. They said, the difference is like traditional suicide, let's say, is that they wanted to live, is that the human instinct was, if your body was like, it's burning, it's hot like hell, all the structures were burning. And at least you could breathe. Okay. When you jumped, you were reaching for the air. So even if it seems like a twisted way, this was in some ways the life instinct kick. It doesn't make sense, guys, because like if you were experiencing the feeling of like immediate death by the stuff that was around you, but if you jumped, there was a quote unquote, okay, I'm sorry, sorry about this topic. Such a weird question, but I like to know. Okay, so what happened? Tell me. So please, what happened? We resigned to our fate. And this was like, it was almost like even if you couldn't see anything, you have to remember saying, you couldn't see anything. If there was no light, it was really dark, it was really hot. You jump. Okay. So like it's saying no, it's about life. They're growing for air. They're going for air. Okay, yeah, say they're saying it's not suicide. That's right. Exactly. It's not suicide. Okay, okay. So they were, yeah. So this is it. They were going for life. Okay, okay. So I once read somewhere of the jumper's spirits had already left their body before they hit the ground. Is that true? Okay, I think technically, I don't know. It depends on how you die. You know, when you die is the moment you die. Is this true? Is this true? Okay, maybe let's go back to a different question. When do the spirits leave the body? Anyone's body? When? More life. Okay. I don't think this is true. I don't think it's true, indivisible. Interesting. That's right. Suicide is wanting to. That's right. It's exactly this, Audrey. You're exactly right. Suicide. Exactly. They wanted to live, and this was just an instinct to survive. Really, is to go. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Oh my God. Okay. So once read somewhere. Okay. So no, indivisible is just saying that if it's saying that the space, they say it's a second. Interesting, right? Roger is right. It's saying that, guys, it's a second. It's almost like a second that it happens. In 1 second, like, I don't know, the time that it takes. Oh, that's right. So Linda G is doing a live stream, then it's her birthday. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's cool. That may be I don't know, that's totally like, that makes sense. Okay. So, wow. Happy birthday, Linda G. Okay. And it's also Barbara's birthday tomorrow. Okay. And thanks for the update, because we were wondering something happened because people, so this is cool. This is cool. Okay. So that's the answer, indivisible, about the answer is that it's so quick that it's like a second. So it doesn't, I don't think this is true, to be honest. It's like you have to die. Honestly, it's very simple. You just have to die. And they were not necessarily dead on the way, but it took a second. It was so quick. Okay. Unless they were already dead and they had fallen. It's a different, no. So I don't think so the answer is, I believe, is no. Okay. Okay. So let me answer the question. Also, let me answer the question of indivisible. Also, the other question about connecting with somebody on the other side and see if they have a message for us. Okay, the message about, I don't know what, just a message. So what's going on? It's not, so I feel like it's a woman. Okay, the message I got here, it's a woman, and I got kind of like a female sort of, but it's still, I've told you before, guys, sometimes I get, there is spirits that are very advanced and they're not very human anymore. They don't have a lot of shape. It's complicated to explain. So that's like, so I gather it's a advanced spirit. So it's kind of like telling us you can always rebuild. I had the sense that they are holding on to it, like they're holding hands. They're connected over there together. Many of the people who perished, like together, but also there's a sense of connection on the other side. And they're saying you can always rebuild. America is going to rebuild, and we can always rebuild. It's not true that they want, it's saying that this is like part of like, okay, she's not saying, spelling it out in these words, but it's kind of saying sort of like, it's not true that everything is lost. It's not true. You can always rebuild. Okay. And it's saying that, yeah, but she's not talking about like the buildings, yeah, they rebuilt the buildings, but she's saying like, the values are not lost, and that they're saying, it's interesting, the message is sort of like this whole negative thing that they constantly on and on and on about, is like they want you to believe the purpose of it. There's, the bad people are doing it so that they want you to believe that nothing can be ever done. They want you to, okay. Yeah, we talk to you. So yeah, I was talking about, where you and I talk about the news and everything. But it's just saying that the message here is like they want you to be like, oh my God, no. But it's saying you can always rebuild. This is the message of God, the message of the light. Always, you can always rebuild. There's always, it's like positive, interesting, right? It's always positive and people holding together. And the moment is saying people have the power. They're saying when people come together to do good things, so much can be accomplished. So much can be accomplished. And it's saying though people, they burned out the building, but they didn't burn out the spirit of the country or anything like that. So, but I think it's, guys, this person is saying here, I'm getting at something else that I have forgotten, but it's that the time of 9/11, we were attacked from the outside, and we were together no matter what. Like at the time I trust. I was like, oh, Bush, even I was like, oh, Bush is the president. At least he's tough or something, honestly. But now we are. I think we're attacked from the inside. Okay, and it's not as. So what I have the question for this period about this time. Like the difference is now we have the people, I don't want to say they're victims of propaganda, but they're like, they believe this separation. There's a lot of, America is much more divided. Okay, really. So how are we going to overcome this to rebuild? Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time with their whatever is not true. Whatever it's saying, a lot of those arguments are bullshit. There's stuff like, oh, but I have the right to not have, women should go to, there was apparently, so I didn't click on it. And some article saying about by some woman, she's like a Southern Methodist University law professor. Oh, but the law in Texas was not so bad. Abortion really is a terrible thing. And it's sort of like the sort of bullshit, bad faith and all this, like people who are not, they're saying they're not coming at it from the right. And it's saying even from a religious perspective, even if you say, okay, I believe in the, like, even attacking people for things like this, it's wrong. There's nothing Christian about it. There's nothing, you know what I mean? So don't worry about it. They're saying don't worry about it because you have to attach to the values. What are the right values? And that's the only thing that matters. It's not true. It's a bullshit. So are we ever going to see this? No, it's bullshit. Just go with the values, stick to the values and the things that mean something. It's this, and okay, that's what it is. Okay. So it's saying, yeah, just keep at it. Keep believing, keep doing, okay, and focus on, so yes, we can rebuild it. Yes, we can restart. Is that we can have a restart, a reschedule, not reschedule, you know what I mean? You understand what it's saying, right? Okay, so it's interesting. Okay, so do you have more questions? ISF, anybody has questions for somebody on the other about 9/11? If not, I really want to do the thing that, like I said, September 11th, 2041. Okay, I'm gonna go forward. I want to know what's happening. So let me write out questions. Okay, I want to ask questions about that time. So let's see. Let's see the questions. Okay, how will we see the Trump presidency in 2041? Trump presidency. Okay, 2041. Okay, unknown truth about. Okay, so, but indivisible. That's not. I don't think that's a question for this. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Let's see. Okay, I really want to go. Okay, want to go forward. But okay, you know what? Indivisible. I feel like that is like in the news. You know what I mean? Like this stuff is really like, it's because they're connected to the oil. The oil thing, right? We know that. We know that, right? Like it's not. It's not. It's not a. We know the answer for this, right? Okay, so. Yeah, you say I close my eyes here and say no, they're very close because of the oil. The Saudis did business with the Bushes for a long time, and they no, of course, I know you're not involved. They let them go. They didn't, they didn't even question them. Okay, they did not question them. They're like, no, no, I know you have nothing to do. I know, no, they believe them. Okay, okay. So, okay. So, okay, so I'm gonna go to then go forward. Okay, I'm gonna go forward to 2041. Okay, so September 11, 2041. Uh, let's see. What does New York do? I don't know if I want to ask this question. What does New York look like? I don't know, guys. Is it even an important? What kind of question? Oh, I have a good question to start with. That's it. What are we going to have democracy? Simple, basic question. Are we going to have voting rights and democracy? Really? Because that's really, I think, right now the most pressing question. I worry, that if we worry about is this: Are we going to have a democratic system of government in 2041? That's what our first thing. So, what is this system of government like? What are the voting rights like? Guys, I have to tell you, it's kind of interesting. So the first thing I see when I ask the question about the democracy and voting, it showed that like there's a, how there's price, the price scanner thing, something like a kind of like a scanner beam that scans your fingerprint or your iris, your eye. Because you know how like, oh no, but you have to have a certificate, you have to have a whatever ID, you have to have this, you have to have that, this is how they prevent people from voting, right? So it says that like they're gonna scan your finger, whatever, and that's it. It's very simple, like boom. That kind of like a menu, like ATM, like when you like pick ding 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 like that. It's not very complicated. It shows, okay, and you can go back and you can see. Okay, so how do they count the votes? How do we make sure that they're not hacked? What is the difference? They're laughing. Somehow it's saying that it's much safer. I don't know. And guys, I see seriously, it's like almost like it looks like an airport to me or something, like a place. All this scanning that you kind of go, but you can go online. I mean, it's like it almost looks like a VR, like you can go online and do it, but it looks like you go into a space where you may not even have to go to this. It seems very simple. Like you vote, do, like it's very like kind of seamless, to be honest with you. It's nice to hear. So, okay, so let's see. No, again, I want to know. So, what about the people? So the Republicans have tried. They have not tried. They have largely succeeded at really preventing, trying very hard to prevent people from voting. They didn't. People still voted, but it's still hard to vote. It's not simple. So how is it that things change? How do they change? Okay. How does this happen that democracy wins? Okay, I'm sorry. I made this statement. Is it true? Are we what happens to people like Peter Thiel? I love to my favorite. No, really, because all of these guys, there's a lot of devilish people because the Coke hopefully will be dead by then. The guy's 90 something, right? So there's a lot of money still, okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is indivisible. You know what it looks like to me? Like you can go in but it looks like an airport, but there's nobody behind you. So that's what I didn't understand. It was like you can put in your finger. It's almost like they say it's a certain time. Let's say it's between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., but you can go online, but almost you go virtually. I don't know how else to explain it. Because I don't understand, there's nobody on the line. And it's just like that, just got weird scanning, not weird. It's like a touchless scanning thing. Okay, that you think and okay. So and I know they're saying, guys, I hope this is true, that you can find the totals for like you can even find out who voted for who. It's much more transparent, the voting. Okay. And it's saying that they made it very safe because it's like a weapon. Wow. Tell me how, really? Tell me, okay, so tell me, like, let's go backwards now that I saw that. How did that happen? First, people had IDs, and then they created like everything in the future is gonna be like you don't touch a lot of things. No, no need to disinfect, no touching many things. You kind of like it's like these systems that are kind of virtual, and it's saying that it's codified, like you can kind of you can prove that you did. I don't understand it, quite understanding how it is, but it's saying it's very unique. You know, it's very unique and unique identifiers, like you know the eye or the fingerprints or whatever. And say privacy is taken at the same time that privacy is taken seriously. Certain things are like guaranteed by your, you know, if your identification is right, if identification is really that much more guaranteed or easier to prove, then like, and it's guys is saying that like there's something like some kind of test, and if you have any issues you go to the voting place before and you figure it out, you know. And they're saying, why didn't you vote? Like they're kind of like everybody has to vote or everybody is expected to vote, and that's it, by exactly. So it's kind of interesting. So okay, so let's see, let's say let's go to Georgia, for like places like Georgia, for example, where they're trying to make it really hard to vote. What happens to a place like Georgia? So what about Georgia? How do people vote? Wow, you know, it shows me like a guy, you know, kind of like a guy from like the country or whatever. It's saying that you have to go, everybody registers to vote, but you go to the office and you like, they scan you or whatever. And like, and you get scanned and like, and so, and then you get, you know how like they say, like, you know how, for example, if you buy, okay, I know, forgive, I have a Mac, right? So if I don't even think, what is it? Like if you give permission for something, then they has like, it has all these like, it sends to my phone, the computer, everything is like really secure and they send it many times. So it's something like this, like if you vote and they're like, hi, this is such and such, you voted for this candidate, is this correct? Yes. So please double check that this is, you know, so it's very, it's like double checked, but I feel like it's almost like, again, like pressing something, like it's very simple. And like and you get reminders, hi, is there a reason why you haven't voted? Please press 1. Like it's can you imagine, like seriously, it's so easy. They're like, wow, are you sure you haven't voted? Why? What happened? So do you need help? Do you get the system or like, wow, so interesting, guys. I like it. I like it. Okay, so now let's go to, so okay, so then now, so tell me about like, so what else is going on in the future? Tell me about, okay, so how's the health system, for example? You know, it's also interesting, guys, that they are able to like there's, it's a weird, okay, another really interesting thing that I'm getting here is like all this like scanning. For some reason, it's kind of you know, it doesn't look creepy when I see it. It seems very peaceful or like clean. But when I think about it, try to describe it, it sounds creepy, but it's like everything seems to be scanned. Like even your body is scanned. Like, you know, the airport thing, like everywhere. So they could almost like they pick things up on a cellular level, much way before diseases develop. So like, I mean, it seems like really almost you know how like when you saw the future back, 20 years is not that long, but it seems, I guess, you know, if you think back 20 years, yeah, is it like live chat? Yeah, maybe like when you look back 20 years, I don't know, it seems like really advanced, guys. Like the food, can I tell you something really interesting that gave me goosebumps almost? That like they scanned the food for electromagnetic waves, because you know, guys, I told you before, I told you sometimes I do readings about, you know, I do things related to health and also kids with autism sometimes, but I believe that part of the things that cause, there's a brain electromagnetic vibration, okay, and then, and I believe that there's like a lot of this electrical grid thing. I don't quite understand it. They're going to figure out the electromagnetic vibrations or whatever that are not good for you or that can cause a certain disruption. Um, and so they're very careful about this electromagnetic vibrations. I don't understand how, because honestly, guys, it does look to me like exactly like Star Trek. It is. It's really weird. It's weird, right? It's weird. Is okay. Is it weird? Is it? How do I know it's true? How do I know it's true? You see it. You see it. Okay. So what is the difference? For some reason, everything looks a little bit more minimal. And what else? And then I see, guys, transportation again. It does look like, I don't know, guys. I almost like, because I feel like, again, remember the 80s? It doesn't, part, I mean, I guess we never, can you believe the cell phones, right? But it seems more, everything is, it's like this, and it does look like there's like these trains that are really fast and like, because, guys, the other thing I see is that people have to be able to go to like upper, because I do believe, I don't want to scare anybody, but the water thing is the water thing is a thing, really. It's saying we're gonna use a lot of solar power. This is very nice because of the water situation. If waters go up dramatically, we have to, like, people survive. I don't see a lot of poverty either, honestly, but but I just, it's interesting. I see, like, because people, if there's rains, like they have to move people around more easily. And like, okay, so guys, it seems like that far along. It seems, honestly, it seems like 60 years ahead, not, what I mean? I don't know why. It seems like much, much more advanced. I don't know why. So, okay, but continue. Let's continue. So what else? So we have these advances in science. So then they can catch cancer early on, really early on. And then like it's saying that the medicine, the advancements are huge, huge. So so it's, guys, this is kind of so very unexpected. I was like expected to talk about, it was very kind of darker. It doesn't seem as dark. But okay, is it true, guys? I almost feel like almost doubting it. It's kind of okay, but something else. This is not supposed to be about me, but I see myself. I am like on a stage, like being interviewed. 40. I'm like, Rosie, I'm still alive. I'm still alive there. And they're like, so Rosie, you built, because I'm working on my thing, right? So like, it's one of the things you build that thing. He's like, how do you know that these things are going to happen? How could you tell? How could you tell? I was like, oh, like, but I was like, hey, we know we're gonna. It's nice because, guys, I worry, honestly, I worry about the fascism thing. Is really the thing that this whole technology thing. Let's ask an actually good question. Oh, let's ask about Facebook. Does Facebook exist? Because I think, what I mean? It's really creepy. It's really creepy. Like, Facebook is very creepy. So, but I see that I'm like, oh, I'm good. No, thank you. I'm wearing white and I'm really skinny. I don't know. I hope it's. So like I'm just like, I'm kind of the same but different, a little older. Okay. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm like, how was it like to see these things as they were? And like, and then okay, so oh, what it's telling me? It's kind of interesting, guys. It's like, remember when I was growing, back in those days, people used to do a lot of psychology. Remember Freud wasn't, really, it has a psychology is not that old. Okay. Freudian and everything is like what, the 30s, is that right? The 30s or something like this, isn't it? So it's saying the same way. I guess I taught people the thing about how, now it's very common. Everybody uses their vision, is saying. Okay. So right as well. No, but I feel like it's not even, guys, it's not considered even psychic, because it's considered sort of like, it's considered almost like a mind thing. Does it make sense? I don't get a sense that it's very like weird, quote unquote, or like it's more common. People use intuition more. It's more common, I guess. Okay. It's more widespread, more common. So they don't consider it to be psychic or different, it's like demystified, I guess that you call it. Okay. So it's interesting. So Oh, yeah, but guys, okay, again, this is not meant to be for me, but it's telling me something kind of very interesting, okay? So it's telling me something that, like, one of the things, I don't know if I told you this, guys, before when I first started learning, this is how, I haven't started doing the technology for that long, okay? Learning and stuff for maybe 5 years or something like that. But I remember when I first started learning or being interested in, I was like, oh, this reminds me of the other side. Like, because I had not, the whole thing that you connect with something that is like text. And I was like, it reminds me of like certain things I saw on the other side. And from my perspective, I see a connection between spirituality and technology is more connected for some reason. And then over in this world where they see it like this much more. Okay, okay, so will we still be going through climate changes? This is that question. Yeah, yes, because but I see though, like I said, that they have to, for guys, when they built, for example, Amsterdam back in a long time ago, they were aware of like the waters. It's almost like they have to rebuild a lot. Guys, I don't want to be scared anybody, but there's a lot of calamities in the world, and that's why we have to. It's not like anybody's like, oh, let's think about climate change. It's more like we're dying, so we have to do something about it. So I feel like the world kind of like, it's almost like, okay, when we look back at the time before penicillin, right? Before they discovered antibiotics, you could die much more easily, right? Obviously. So it's similar in a way. Like it's something like they find ways. They have to find. They don't. It's not like they're like, oh, I found something. It's like humanity has to come together to survive. Humanity has to come. That's why it's almost like, but this sense of like, it's interesting, guys, because the connectedness of people, and it's not like quote unquote communism. It's more like you learn that you have to be, guys, when we, the initial tribes, like people work together doing everything, for better or worse, and then they will have a time of great individualism, and then people come together again to survive. Just not because it's like it's a cultural thing. It's more like we have, even this thing of COVID, think about it, how much more aware we had to be of each other. And even the situation about this mask mandates, the bullshit or whatever, right? Like how we right, like how you realize like, no, you have to get vaccinated because we're gonna die if you don't, like, really. So it's just changes everything in that way, individual, you know what I mean? So okay, so okay, so then, so how do we see, I still want to see the thing about Trump. So in 2041, how, wait, is that right? Oh, guys, 61. That's right. Sorry, 61, 2061. That's right. Sorry, 40 years. Exactly, 40 years. So 2061, that makes more sense. 2061. Are we, how are we going to look back at how is the history going to look at the Trump administration? They're kind of saying like it's the end of the Middle Ages. They were sort of like the dark era, the dark ages or something. It's saying the dark ages that they look back at like it's like, because I see that people are like self-congratulating, like, yes, it's so great to live in the Renaissance. Here we are, like just like in the Renaissance they had in 1400s to 1500s, that where there was like this huge rebirth of culture and art and all these things. And so they're saying like, look at how much, it's almost like we're like Atlantis, like everything is this hyper developed society of technology. Okay, so like, you know what I mean, like kind of like, but not for the bad, for the good. So it's saying that that you look back, it's like the darkest era they were trying so hard, saying this was the disintegration of an era that was supposed to end, and people did not accept it. And that's what, look at them, they were lying to people all this time. People believe them. It's interesting, guys. It's so similar to Nazism. Like people believe that. Can you believe they believe that guy? He was such a traitor. And so, but it's somebody say president because he's not really the president. Like I do think that by the time we get to that, they will be you'll be erased. Okay, I don't think he's gonna the president like people laughing up president, right? Um, that they're not considered. No, it's not. He's not considered to be a president at that time. They will. So no, he's not a like. Okay, so what happens? So okay, like I want to. So is Facebook around? What happened to Facebook? No, saying they will be found to have all the information, kind of like spying on citizens. You know how they accuse the government of like spying on people? They're like spying on people, and they have too much information without people's consent, and they're broken up for all kinds of reasons, but mostly because they lie to the public. And they are kind of like found to be, kind of guilty of fraud, a form of fraud, and also like state secrets. Okay. So it's kind of like, oh, it's interesting the way they talk about it. It's almost like Nick's weird. Like why it seemed to be almost like a mob. Honestly, they're like, oh, it's the mob. Remember the mob, the criminal? It's like they're referred to as criminals or something. Like they stole people's identities or like information. Everything was fake. Oh, it's also saying something interesting that, and I don't know how, honestly, how we're gonna have that without, it's not like I feel like we're still gonna have assholes, but it's saying it's going to be much harder to like falsify it. For some reason, the whole thing with identity, and this is from the beginning, from the scanning thing, like it's much harder to steal identities or whatever. For some reason, it's going to be like much easier to like, you know what I mean? So Facebook is so many fake accounts. They say like, how to use your name, but it's all based like they falsify a lot of it. They don't have as many users as they say. They just they allow a lot of fake accounts. There's some story like that, but I feel like it's seen as the past. It's like, oh, remember how they had like it's oh, and they're saying like that recently, I don't know if they interview or whatever, they interview me or talking about this, like that what's her name died. Sheryl Sandberg has passed away recently back in 2061, and they're like, and she was a recluse for the rest of her life. That nobody, remember, like she was like known for having been so no, it's 40 guys, 40 years. Okay. Is that right? I'm sorry. Is that right? 40 years? 40 years. Is that right? 40 years. 40 years from now. That's what I meant. Okay. Oh, that's right. So you know what? Let's see if is there going to be a Republican Party? Let's see. Let's find out. But so is there going to be a Republican Party? What happened to the GOP? I don't know, guys. What I see is that maybe it might be smaller. Okay. My piece, but I got confused. That's because I thought it was 41, but it's 61. So okay, so it looks like the Republican Party, whatever exists of it, it's smaller. It's smaller. And but okay, I don't know how some of this guy seems like hard to believe that it's going to happen, but they're saying there's laws where people can't lie, politicians can't lie. So it's not going to, so yeah, there's a law that politicians can't lie. So about what lie about what? What can they say the politicians can't lie? So you're not going to have a Republican Party, not the way we have now, really, because they're they're saying claims about health. Okay, they're saying claims about health, and what else can't they lie about? Attacking opponents with lies, debasing the character, like stuff like that. You can't do that anymore for some reason. Okay, however, I don't know how. They're saying that they're saying that it's like, okay, so what? Okay, I have another question. So what about the world that we live in today, 2021, September 11, 2021? Are they going to know, like looking, because it doesn't make sense, guys, because sometimes we don't know what's happening. For example, Nazi era, they didn't know about concentration camps until many years later. Like right away, people didn't know what was really happening. So only later did they get the full scope of what was happening. So something like this, like what does it make sense, guys? Like even the stuff that like about, prosecutions of these people and like how different is it gonna be? How different is it gonna be? Like, okay, so does it make sense, guys, what I'm saying? Like, okay, for example, the both sides situation, like, oh no, but oh, he said this, or the whole vaccine thing, how is this going to transition to something else? It's saying that, guys, I see also Merrick Garland's gonna be in his job for a decade, for a long time until he's really, really old, okay? Like really, really old. So he's gonna be doing his job for a really long time. And so they're gonna start peeling off. When you peel off the layers, you see crime. Like those people are saying pretty much all of them are criminals in a way or another, whether it's by pushing fraud like Medicare fraud, PPP loan fraud, all these kinds of things. Like they really are criminals. And so when they start to peel off that layer, okay, when you peel off the layer and you figure out what people are really, what they really are about, like what they're actually doing, then you realize like there's a connection between like the bullshitting and all that, oh, calling people names and stuff like that. You realize that like there's first of all, it was not everything was done in bad faith. Like Trump wasn't calling people names because he wanted to show that he could. It was because he knew that that was effective and that could get him votes. And it doesn't make sense. So it's like it's almost like, what I think, I hope this is true, guys. Something that happens, I believe, when we pass on the other side, okay, is that there's a sense of people don't lie. You can't lie on the other side because you're transparent, literally transparent. So the same thing starts happening here in an interesting way. It's almost like that the power of like lies and like the lower level is not as effective anymore. Okay, does something like this, like maybe we evolve eventually, hopefully, that we don't really, like the thing where this happens in many, not just politics, in many veins, where people like do one thing to get another. So like they will say, I don't know, like it's sort of like everything is about advertising. Like it's not substance, it's about advertising. So then when we strip that away, when it's no longer about fooling people or take advantage in some way, and you don't, doesn't make sense. It's like it's much more like, I don't want to say clear, I guess. Okay, and it's saying that the young kids that are being born now, they're very different, and they're much more, authenticity becomes a thing, like much more important. And there's also like I said, there's a connection between identity. Like I said, everything is like easy to identify. It's hard to have identity theft and stuff like that. It's hard to have banking fraud. It's hard to have, so okay, so stuff like that. Okay, so what happens? Okay, so what happens? Okay, what about, okay, what will be the story? Let's say Ivanka Trump. What will she be known for, Ivanka Trump? It's saying a child of the famous criminal organization Trump. It's saying, guys, I see like very sort of completely disgraced. Like she's connected to the criminal family that tried to take over the country and stuff like that. Okay, so, and that her husband went to she was kind of like, I don't say she's saved, but she was able to. I don't know, guys. I just see like she's okay. Like who? Like a criminal, honestly. Like I don't think they have. I just feel like their role in power or in government, or like the children of the president, whatever that was once called, it's no longer valid. Okay, it's no longer valid. So it's like it's almost like this light is really bothering me. I don't know what I've done. Okay. So it's very yellow. I don't know. Maybe it's the one here on the slide. I don't, doesn't matter. But the point is like is that they're known as criminals, and like it's saying, so what about this time? How are we going to, how will history look at the time after Trump? See, 5 years of great transition, and finally the lid closes. Like they're saying that right now it's hard because those people are fighting. They are fighting justice, and they want to go on like this forever. Okay, so what about like say for example, abortion laws? Okay, abortion laws, for example. Are we gonna the stuff in Texas, for example? Again, it's saying if you dig deeper, it's saying, guys, it's possible. The other thing I was talking to two people earlier today, talking about the thing about churches. It's saying that it's possible that they're going to outlaw, they don't pay taxes, right? So we want to stop that because, again, guys, I think that we're going to find out the relationship between money laundering and religion, religious like status, how they don't pay taxes and they like those people are using it. Like the thing is like when you trace the treason situation, we're going to come to a point where we're going to see that a lot of these churches were used to launder money and to like get the election money. Is saying like they were doing a form of like egregious bank fraud. Okay, so the government is going to have to do it because they find out all these things. Okay, so okay, guys, I saw somebody above. I think I've seen somebody asking about Fox News. Okay, what about Fox News? Okay, what about Fox News? What happens to Fox News and Newsmax or whatever? It's saying something like, guys, remember the doctrine that Reagan got rid of? That's right. They can't lie. Like they're saying for some reason, guys, and I don't know how they're going to be able to do that, but that lying is not, you can't do that anymore. Saying the price is too high. The price is too high of lying. Okay. So any more questions, guys? Then we'll move on, like 8:30 almost, but tell me more if you have more questions about this if you have any questions about the 20 40 years down the line. I have a question. I still have one question. What else? I'm interested in taxes. Are we gonna have, how we have a time right now where people who are really, really, really wealthy barely pay any taxes? Is this going to change? Is this going to change? How is this going to change? It's saying, guys, again, we're gonna see that a lot of those people, they created it was a coup. They attempted a coup on the country. They wanted to, not just Trump, okay, this is important, not just Trump, because they wanted to end democracy. If Trump wasn't able to do it, then they wanted to stop democracy because they wanted to rule the country. Like five people, whatever, how many people, they wanted to rule the country. They want to be like, even though they're not kings, that's how they were acting. Like they control everything and they dictate how everything is done. So it said they, you know what I mean? Like this changes. This is how it changes by, okay. So that's why, and they're like, they try to, but it's saying once, this is the thing, guys, why I feel like this whole thing with Trump and like, it's so important because you like take out the mask, right now everything is hidden. And it's saying the hidden is part of how they were able to get away with it. Okay. You know what I mean? So exactly, Audrey. There should be a law about news media giving out false. Is because it's one thing. It's one thing to say, okay, maybe there was a mistake with the reporting, maybe there was a detail that was wrong, but it's another one to like deliberately create false news and spread it. It's because that's the world we're living in, and there's professional people that do this. Okay, really. So okay. So how? Okay, so Teresa asks, how will education be different? How will education change? So okay, so I see it's interesting. I see this image of like again, it does look a little bit like Star Wars or something, but it's like the little kids. They're like probably it looks like to me they look like they're 7 years old or six or something. It's like both genders, and they're like in this round table with a teacher. But I see that there's like several things. One thing I see is that schools are it's much better. Education is better, like better in terms of like maybe less unequal, okay, and at the same time like they care more about the children, like almost like okay, the other thing I feel like maybe the world is less opulent, okay, people have everything they need, but it's less like huge, things all the time. But at the same time, so educate children are like almost revered or like trust, like people want the kids to be raised correctly, also almost like there's a more care for children. And that I have a sense that either that teachers are paid more or there's like more taxes, like something about education. Oh, this is the thing I want to say, that the whole thing that the battle of like so-called equality, right, of women's rights is also one thing that hasn't been done really, is to create decent childcare. Because if women go to work and men go to work as well, the problem is that you don't have childcare really. There's a huge serious issue with childcare. So if you make it like more tax, you know what I mean, more money, guys. If I have a country, no, really, all the taxes will have to be spent on education. Like kids of all, it doesn't matter how much money your parents make, you have to have the best education, and the government should find a way to do childcare, okay, in a way that is not like people making zero, almost no money, okay, with childcare. So it's addressed, because what happens in America, guys, unfortunately, is that childcare is considered a non-issue almost. Like they like, brush it off, pretend like it's not necessary. But you know what I mean? But childcare and education go hand in hand, because how can you know what I mean? Like how can you have kids and also work if you don't make enough money to pay for childcare, and also you know what I mean? So it's saying that like that it's that's what I feel like there's this understanding of like the reality. You know what I mean, guys? It's sort of like I know, guys, I have a thing I really dislike Sheryl Sandberg, because the whole thing of like, oh yeah, I get home at 5 and I spend time with my kids, but it's sort of like, yes, you're a billionaire, you probably have like 10 people working for you to do the work, you know what I mean? But that's never discussed. And I'm not just saying Sheryl Sandberg, but I mean in general, that's the thing that matters. Like if you have a company, then ideally companies should provide childcare in the building for the kids of the employees, right? I think personally, because they don't have to worry about where's my kid? Are they, how they're right there. They just happen to be in the, you know what I mean? Personally, that's what I think. Okay. So it just seems like okay, like and it's like, guys, think about the insanity that we have, give companies tax breaks, but they don't have. And I'm not saying, maybe because I think ultimately it's up to the government to determine, like if you have, think about it, tax breaks should never exist for companies that don't give benefits to their employees, who don't treat their employees as employees even. So all these things have to be, I think they're going to be much more balanced in the future. Okay. So Audrey is asking, how is racism and social justice in 4 years? So So it's kind of interesting. First thing that I see is that kids are taught about slavery correctly. Okay. It's not like, oh, you know how, guys, the whole thing, like how sad, they're like trying to penalize people for teaching. They call it, what is it called? Critical race theory. It's called reality. Okay. Reality that happened in this country. Okay. Really, like you can't talk about it because it's not, so they're like, so it's saying, yes, there is a discussion because, and how interesting it is. It shows that that the way it's contextualized around the issue of treason, because it's saying that the traitors of the country, they used racism to further their goals, to betray America. They did not like America as diverse. They wanted to create this reality so they could they use this divisive, they call it quote unquote divisive issue to separate the country and get what they want. So it suggests that in the future there's a discussion between treason and racism, like a connection. Like if you're racist, that means you hate your country. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like it's seen as like a value. How does this something like, because I see the other thing, guys, that I see that is very interesting is that this is discussed early on in schools, very early on. They have to talk, the kids have to talk about it. It's almost not controversial, really. So this is it. Okay, so it's saying that this is like, okay, so okay, what will gun control look like in 40 years? So what is gun control to look like in 40 years? Guys, is saying that okay, so it's saying that armament and guns in general are going to be seen much more negatively, because, and I don't mean to scare anybody again, that they're going to look like there's going to be another, I don't see nuclear, but some kind of like accident or something huge where they're like, it's too dangerous and it's not okay. But I see again the whole thing that I saw before. They scan your eyes, they scan your hand. Like it's very hard. It shows that it's very hard to like have things that are not. Everything has to be registered to your name, and you have to have it. You can't like not. It's almost they say okay, there's a whole thing of surveillance, but I see the good side of it where it's like you can't have these sort of things in your house. It's easy to like scan everything. They could pick up, almost like a house scanner where they could pick up metals and, the big metal, they can scan. For some reason, it's almost like the whole world's going to be a giant airport thing, where the airport, like they track, you scan you for everything similar. So, okay. So what will our food supply look like in 40 years? Interesting. I see, guys, I think we're going to have solar energy panels everywhere. And at the same time, I see that they have all these lights, like they can make things grow inside indoors much more easily. And like, because with the water thing, it's like, I see that things are suspended and like, almost like, okay, I am not necessarily vegetarian, but it's saying things are going to become more vegetarian also, because if there's less space to grow cows or whatever, okay, but at the same time, more supplements or something, like people eat more protein, like more, I think people look healthy to me, very healthy, but there's more like, they figure out how to make, it's not going to be like fake food, but you have this like way to like balance the food supply. I don't know. It's okay. I honestly don't see people starving, which is good. You know what I mean? I feel like it's much more because think about how humanity, how much, like if the energy that's put on like killing people and like scamming the government and, getting advantage of things, like if that energy is put into improving the lives of people, like how much we could go, how far we could go if the intelligence of some of these evil people goes into, like, if we don't have, like, for some reason, I do think that humanity, hopefully I'm right, I don't know, because sometimes, guys, I have, maybe this is a good question. Sometimes I wonder if we are barbaric or if we are You know what I mean? Sometimes it feels like we have advanced, but you're so barbaric. Like we know, like the kids being separated and the border. You know what I mean? Like that is so barbaric, right? Like how come? So okay. So are we okay? Is humanity really going to get better? No, we say yes, yes, okay. But I feel like we're gonna have a lot of laws, okay, a lot of laws. It's not just like internally, but there's gonna be laws because the thing, guys, is if anything, the Trump era and this era after Trump, whatever this time is gonna be known as like you have to like almost like a disease that has to be extinguished. So how do you do that? Because I think what happens before is like we did, whether it's almost like Democrats didn't, we didn't know, or we're too things were going too well for some. I don't know why we didn't do this stuff before, but we didn't. So when guys, the time that we're living, if you think about it, we have to do something just because we're not going to survive if we leave it like this. If we don't do, look at guys, and I was so pleased. I told you before, we're going to talk about it today. Still, I have to go into the topics of the day. The thing that Biden did about the mandates, that is exactly what he should have done before. Not even before, but this is the right thing to do now. Because if you're gonna like let these people like, oh, I'm not gonna get vaccinated, I'm gonna, they're threatening people, they're yelling at people, just make it a rule that you're going to get fired. Okay, that's it. That's it. If you don't get vaccinated, then the companies that they want to have these employees, then they pay for it. Okay, okay, and then very quickly they're going to get vaccinated. Okay, I'm sorry, like I don't care. You know what I mean? Like those guys, and I got the other, yesterday I got angry at some woman I followed. Of course, she's like I'm not upset about like I'm vaccinated, but who the people who are gonna pay for it are the people that don't make very much money. They can't get. It's like bullshit. That is bullshit. That is total bullshit. Okay, like seriously, that is total bullshit. So just make them like you're not gonna get enough money to eat. You're gonna go get vaccinated. That's simple. Simple enough. Okay, that's it. So okay, so let's talk about that, the Biden thing, guys. And I'm done with these people. I am done. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you don't have an excuse. You can go f yourself. Okay, stay in your house. But you have to pay the price. We are paying the price for these people. Okay. So okay, we're paying the price for these people. It's not worth it. Okay. So okay, how many guys? I'm gonna close the book on this for now. Okay. But the last question here. Okay, I'm moving to today. We have to talk about today. We have 20 minutes left. How many politicians do the Facebook say that fellow Trump as criminals? What do you mean? What is that? Oh, how many of them are going to be seen as criminals? It's saying it's saying 40% of the Congress. Like honestly, like a lot of people. Guys, remember how the whole thing with January 6th, like a third, like at least how many of them? A lot of them voted to like annul the election. Remember this? You know what I mean? Remember this? Like how that was? So it's saying, yeah, it's going to be recognized. Now, AMC is saying something very wise here. Now, go back to the vaccination thing. Okay, so people that don't make much money are humble enough to get the shot and get back to exactly. But it's a propaganda thing of the right wing people because they never care about people that don't make a lot of money. Never. And suddenly they're like, oh, but you have to think about the less fortunate. You have to think about oh, really? You never think about the less fortunate unless. So okay, so this is like ridiculous. Okay, so okay. Oh, good. My Audrey saying my old hospital I worked for just fired 1,000 people who would not get vaccinated. Good, right? This is the right thing. It's sort of like you putting all the forget about yourself. All think of the other people you could contaminate. There's guys every day we hear to see stories. Little kids. There was a child in the hospital. I saw this news of a child 4 years old. She was in the hospital recovering, and then she caught COVID in the hospital. I'm sorry, like it's the responsibility of whoever is not vaccinated. Like this is you're responsible for that child's death. I'm sorry, you are if you're not vaccinated. There's so many ways to prevent it, and then like And if you know, and that's it. Like if you want to be like, oh, there was. So I saw quickly on Twitter that woman from ESPN, some sort of anchor, she quit. And I'm thinking to myself, girl, you got that job not because of merit. Because if you got your job out of merit, you will get vaccinated. All right, you will get vaccinated. You know, those people that are like, oh, like if you know what I mean. If things are easy for you, you could be like, you know what I mean. I mean, I don't know, guys. Is it complicated? Is it that complicated, really? Like that? Some things. Think about a job. Like it's sort of like the idea. You know how they say, oh, people like, for example, beating somebody at work. If you want to beat somebody up at work, you're not gonna have a job. It's like, is it complicated to like some things you don't do? Okay, if you want to keep a job, like it's not complicated. And if and I'm sure, and guys, is there even a situation where a person, and then honestly, if you can't get vaccinated for some legit reason, then you should be at home in a hospital somewhere. Like you have a real issue. If you truly have an issue that you can get vaccinated for whatever reason. And Audrey, you know, we do have, for example, you have a chronic illness, right? Like people have chronic issues. My parents are, you know, very old, like people, okay, like they get vaccinated. Everybody gets vaccinated because it's better for you than to not be vaccinated. So, but AMC, you know, the IRM AMC is saying maybe she wants to go work Fox. Actually, Fox News also asks for the employees to be vaccinated. You know this, right? They demand, they ask for their employees to be vaccinated. It's just that they say these things in you know, live on air, but when push comes to shove, they actually have been telling their employees, right? They have been telling their employees they have to, if they have meetings or something, they have to be vaccinated. So, and now it's like they probably have more than 100 employees. So Fox News is, you know, it is like, oh yeah, like, oh my God. I mean, seriously, like, go quit your job. Thank you. I'm sorry, I don't want to go. You know, really. And it's like these guys, these jobs that pay a lot of money. Okay, like it pays a lot to be a new anchor for ESPN, I would think. So like, so you're not gonna have that many. Good for you. Good for you. I hope you get a job. You know, what are you gonna do? Like hang out with like, and guys, you know, I hope those people. Sorry, I'm shining. I don't like shiny as you know. I need to put on something. Um, I hope you know the reality. Like, they realize, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm sorry, I was so stupid. I made a mistake. Actually, let me ask a question. Sorry, it's just because you see much better. Oh my God, I hate oil on my face on the video. It makes me so, I don't know. I have a thing. I don't know what it is. So anyway, so like, so let me see. Let me ask even about this woman. I don't know her name, but it doesn't matter. I know her face. So about, oh, by the way, I have a cake. I didn't look at it because everybody was there in Linda G's birthday. Also Linda G. Okay. So so um so let me ask here. So what about these people? Are they going to realize they made a mistake? Are they, what's going to happen to these people that are quitting their jobs? Regret. Regret. Because it's like it's saying that you, for jobs like, especially those sort of jobs like acting or entertainment, the hard part is getting there. Once you get there, people are like, oh yeah, this person was like, you know, it's like you earned it in a way. But then when you leave, they realize there's always another person they could hire, and they do just as well as you do. So no, we're not going to pay you 2 million. You good luck in your future, right? So it's saying that, and saying also like they say, like, well, she embarrassed the company. She embarrassed the company. She said, so no, they're not going to come back, and they're going to lose money. Okay. So, oh my God, look, wow, sister bears of our girl bears. Wow, yeah. So, okay, so that's it. They're gonna, guys, you know what it is? I can't wait for the day when those people, it dawns on them that their racism, their bullshit cost them money, and they were scammed. You know, because that's what it is. The politicians, the Republicans, they're like fool people for a living. And the people that believe their bullshit pay. They never pay. It's the people who believe their bullshit. So, okay, so it's saying there, yeah, their consequences is that nobody cares about them that much. Really. Okay. And it's also saying that the health insurance companies are happy because they can begin to charge more for people who are not vaccinated. Really, that's what they have. They can begin to charge for more if there, you know, if there is no reason. There's almost like a clause, something like for no reasonable reason, for a reasonable something, if there's no reasonable, like I said, the person, like say you're in coma, like there's some reason for, look, oh my God, really, you could not get vaccinated. That's one thing. But especially guys in this country, we're lucky that it's available. In a lot of countries, people don't have access to it, to vaccines. They don't have, or they have very bad vaccines. So it's almost like it's a shame. It's a shame. And not just a shame, like it's almost immoral. Okay. So okay. So anyway, so that's what I see now. Guys, I have to, okay, let's do, you know what? I didn't do the cake. Let's do the cake quickly. Where's the thing? I had it here. Wait a second. The lighter thing. I need to like, oh, here it is. So, and then I'm going to continue. I have questions. We have to talk about news here. Okay, quickly. I'm going to do quickly the news. Happy, to Barbara. Barbara is her birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to Barbara. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Barbara. Happy birthday to you. Okay, and happy Friday for us. And so we survived another Friday. Okay. Okay, I'm just doing it like this. Okay. And then, but I'm gonna continue, guys. I'm gonna continue because we're gonna talk about, okay, but just five. I'm gonna 5, 2, 1, and then make a wish, and then a blow candle. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make a wish. Okay. Woo, happy birthday. Okay. Anyway, so okay, so continuing here. Okay. All right, continuing. All right. So okay, so quickly here. Okay, so okay, guys. So I talk about Biden, the vaccines and so forth. Okay, did you see Howard Stern's? I thought it was perfect. Okay, now Giuliani, so quickly here, Giuliani ally Igor Fruman pleads guilty to soliciting foreign campaign contributions. What does this mean for Giuliani? It's over. They're all flipping on him, saying it's over, and he knows it. He's like this. So, and it's saying, I see them this lifting thing that is this dirt that is, guys, is going to uncover how a lot of them, again, they're getting foreign campaign donations. It's only the beginning, only the tip of the iceberg. And how Giuliani is involved in so much crap, you know, guys, a lot. He's involved a lot. And how embarrassing that he's going to be indicted as Southern District. So that's it. It's like one more piece of bad news. And they all want them to flip on Rudy and the other guy, you know, the oligarch. Okay. All right. So, all right. So quickly, Sean Hannity, guys, you see this bizarre news here. Sean Hannity, there's a recording. I don't have any email. I have to change phones constantly, and I have no access to social media because my lawyers won't allow me. But why? Okay. Okay, so but why? Okay, interesting. So why does Sean Hannity, what is up with Sean Hannity that he has to be so careful? I wanted to know. Sean Hannity? He's like, ever since Michael Cohen was indicted, and he knows, like it's saying that he knows, I feel like, okay, I'm not defending him here, but it's saying that he knows that like he is in a lot of trouble. Like he could be getting into a lot of trouble, the Russian propaganda thing. He's afraid, and he's afraid because again, I see that Michael Cohen, the situation, he's, you know, this the stuff with Michael Cohen and the propaganda stuff. He's afraid. He's afraid because he knows consciousness of guilt, and he feels like he was used by Trump. And you know another thing, guys, is it me? Not that I watch Fox News, but have you noticed how like the most extreme stuff I read about that people comment on is Tucker Carlson, not Sean Hannity anymore. So it's saying because of Sean Hannity, he has has higher hit ratings, and that he's more mainstream or something like this. Okay, so he's trying to CY, cover your ass, CYA. Okay, that's why he's behaving like that. Okay, so so did you see, guys? Fox News anchor and him must face sex trafficking suit as Judge Javan. So it's that. Okay, so now DOJ versus, important, DOJ versus Texas abortion law. Justice Department announces lawsuit against Texas over restrictive abortion law. It's important. Okay, so So what's going to happen here? Unconstitutional, is it? But isn't it related to the Supreme? I'm a little bit confused. So is it, no, it's saying that the Supreme Court refused to like to stop it, but doesn't make, there is something where like no, and it's saying it's all it's a political thing. And the other thing it's saying, guys, is that though the people that are into this are the most, those people in Texas are desperate because they're in a lot of legal trouble. And that even, you know, did you see that, like, what's his name? Ron DeSantis tried to, like, oh yeah, he was saying, somebody asked him, you're going to do something. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. But they are aware that in a lot of states, even guys, it's even, someone said this is so true. You can be anti-abortion, but you can also be anti this law. Does it make sense? The thing they're doing is really harsh and it's besides the point. Okay, does it make sense? So it's sort of like they know that if they want to win elections without cheating, they have, this is too extremist. People do not want to live in a world like that where they can, you know what I mean? So it's saying that it's not good for the GOP. Another thing where it's like it's just a short-term thing, okay? And it's not gonna be. And it's saying, you know, there's a something called like, you remember the bathroom laws? There was something, I remember even like Rachel was saying this a while back, like bathroom laws, like they try to do the trans bathroom, it's like a culture war thing, and then they lost, you know, like either the businesses they didn't want to do, they don't have anything to do with them, or something like where like they went too far. And this is a case of something like this, especially those people. You know, guys, how like the guy even said, oh, I'm gonna stop rapes. Did you see the governor? Oh, I'm gonna stop rapes. Like, as if conservative women didn't get like, I'm sorry, like you can get, anybody could get raped. Okay, and you know what I mean? The condescension and like the lack of, like, they don't care about women. They just don't care about women. Okay, so sorry about father-in-law. Yes, okay, so okay, so wow. So it's not gonna go well. It's like, okay, so what's gonna happen to the GOP radicalizing all of this? What are it's not going in the direction where they want it to be. It's saying that people in the smart people in the GOP, meaning the ones that care about polls, know that, like, they just know that the people on the ground, it's not working. This is not what they care about. The culture war thing is saying, people think that it's such a huge deal because the media and those paid people, they go to start yelling, they're loud, but that's really not something that the everyday person is not thinking about. Stuff like this is not at all. It's just them. They are thinking that if they do this, it's going to help them, but it's not really going to help them. So, so interesting. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, all right, now let's see more here. So did you see, guys? Oh my God, did you see this? Like, it's so creepy. It's so weird how so many Republicans got. Republican judge shot himself moments before an arrest for child sex abuse. Newell spent years grooming, molesting, and videotaping minor boys as young as 13. He installed a hidden camera in his bathroom to watch them showering. Like, how creepy, guys. How creepy is this? This is a judge, Republican judge. Okay. So, I mean, really, like, I don't know, guys. It's so, I don't know, I don't know what to say. It's just like, it's always those people that are like, the ones that like hate. It's almost like, really, it's worse. They lie more and more. Okay. So, okay, now, okay, this is okay, I'm not surprised. I was kind of almost happy to see this news because it's so predictable. Andrew Yang unveils third-party plans after failed New York. The New York Daily News is Democrat, so they say failed New York mayoral White House bid. So, that guy is so shady, right? Andrew Yang. And of course, now he starts like a third party, which is always like there's always those candidates. Roger Stone used to do that a lot. They used to find these other like, the other party that would, okay, so okay, now it's like there's some kind of like, okay, let's see. Okay, so okay, let's see. Yeah, he said, "Oh, I no longer." He's like, "No longer. I'm no longer Democrat." Really, like you never were Democrat. So I actually would be interesting because I feel, guys, I think in a way Andrew Yang represents this like the era of the grifter. Like people like Jill Stein and all those people. Like, who are they? Like they're just like making money, like misrepresenting who they are. And like I don't know. It's just it should honestly. I think for politics, it's not that everybody's perfect. It's not that you can't lie, but it's sort of like if you go to politics to scam people and to kind of like create false election narratives. You know what I mean? I don't know. It should not be legal if you're not doing it legitimately. Okay, if your goal is to disrupt, is to like. So what's up with Andrew Yang and this thing? What is going on here? I see that it's like it's a brand. Okay. And I see that he's like, oh wow, kind of like being dramatic, like talking, but that he's a puppet. It's like that it's an act. It's sort of saying that his time is almost like he's a brand. His brand. It's sort of like a really good way to become famous is to run for office nowadays. You could run for any immediately you get followers, you get so he's just pumping a brand. It's completely empty. That's why guys, he doesn't really what problem does he have? Nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's not even a good business person. He's just like a person for hire who is well known. And like he wants again, it's like, oh my God. Okay, so what's gonna happen to him? And then I see people moving on, like the world changes and they forget about him. So it's saying that he's like, it's not just propaganda, is not the word in Portuguese, because in Portuguese, advertising and propaganda use the same word. So I was going to say propaganda, but in the Portuguese, like advertising, it's like it's a brand. He's a brand, and it's all this like vacuous thing. The career of a person who's like, and it's saying because like it's saying that it's interesting. Buttigieg, for example, I actually did not like him very much at the beginning, but now he's turned out to be a good person, right? Like he's actually doing things, right? But it's saying that the difference is like Buttigieg, it turns out he was a legit person with legit motives, and this guy isn't. So, because really, if you care about politics, like I'm gonna let's say you become a mayor in a smaller town, who the hell are you, right? Like oh yeah, I want to become mayor. I'm Rosie. I'm gonna become mayor of New York tomorrow. Like, who the hell are you? You know what I mean? Like, have you done anything? So it's saying that it becomes a stale thing. It just people move on. If all you have is publicity, people move on. They forget, really, like we don't have time to do this. We don't have, Christina saying to create a third party must be based on, right. She's saying that in Canada, there is a viable, in many countries, there's many parties. I feel like the case here is like to create distraction, to create like, again, it's saying that he's perfect for this era. Like the media talks about, guys, think about how much time, that's another thing. How many articles the press writes about Caitlyn Jenner, like a completely useless person. None of these people are serious, but they get a lot of this because the press does not really want to take. They don't care about reels. Like I'm not saying all the press, but you know what I mean. Like the whole thing, they're like, oh, the Biden, he's terrible. The whole thing, like the whole thing is terrible and it doesn't work. So that's that. Okay, anything? Okay, so there's more here. There's one more. Okay, so I just want to quickly here. Incoming. Okay, so this is an interesting case seeking to depose Zuckerberg, Sandberg, regarding the Cambridge Analytica cover-up. Okay, so tell me what's happening here. I see Mark. He's like, he's really like you can't. No, he's like really freaking out. He can't. He's like, I can't believe they could do this. Oh my god. Oh my god. But yeah, he's gonna have to testify. And I do think, guys, I believe this Elliott person is no longer working for Facebook. Somebody's gonna flip because they're gonna start putting pressure on guys. The company is amazing how Facebook is. They're able to continue, right? Like, so it's possible they could kind of like push them to admit, like not admit, you know what I mean? If somebody says something, then right, they're gonna be forced to like. It's not gonna be forever, no. So okay. Okay, so this is it, guys. Okay, this is it for now. It was good today. It was interesting. No, interesting. So, all right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So this was interesting, guys. I like the future thing. I should do it more because it's a nice it's a nice thing to feels positive, very positive. I don't know, right? It's saying and also telling me now it's like this is the end of an era. It's almost like it's like the feeling you should. It's like they're kind of telling me here. It's sort of like the feeling you get at the end of the party. Like it's the end of the party. Why you're still there? Like try to move on. You know what I mean? It's the end of the party, and they're trying to make something happen, but the party is over. It's over. So this is it. The party is over. Move on. No, the party is over. Like it's the world has moved on. You should move on too. Okay. So okay. All right, guys. Okay. Very nice talking to you, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Okay. Have a good weekend. Good weekend with September 11th. Really. Okay, and I'll talk to you later. Talk to you later. Talk to you Monday. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great one. Okay. Okay. Enjoy. No, really have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and you have a good. It's important. It's important. Okay. 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 Love you guys.